A major new development in Gaza. Thousands of Indonesian troops are preparing to deploy, potentially becoming the first foreign soldiers to enter the strip under a new international stabilization mission. According to Israel's Khan TV, preparations are already underway to receive the Indonesian contingent. While no official arrival date has been announced, the force is expected to be stationed in southern Gaza between Rafah and Khan Yunis. Reports suggest the number of troops could reach several thousand. The area designated for deployment is set to be ready, though housing facilities for the soldiers may take weeks to complete. Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto has previously stated that Jakarta is prepared to send up to 20,000 troops to Gaza as part of a stabilization effort. His expected visit to Washington on February 19 to attend a Peace Council meeting chaired by US President Donald Trump could further shape the plan. If confirmed, the deployment would mark a significant shift in the post-conflict landscape of Gaza, introducing foreign boots on the ground in one of the world's most volatile regions. And with tensions still simmering, the move could redefine both regional security and international involvement in the enclave.
10 Palestinians, including 3 children, have been killed in Israeli strikes in Gaza amid ceasefire. Israeli troops carried out tank shelling and airstrikes in relation to what they alleged was an attack on IDF troops in northern Gaza. According to the Times of Israel, an Israeli reservist officer was seriously injured after the troops came under fire in the northern Gaza Strip on Tuesday. The injured officer was evacuated to a hospital and his family has been notified. Upon identifying the fire, IDF armored units and IAF aircraft conducted strikes in the area, the Israeli military said in a statement. According to the Middle East Eye, 10 Palestinians, including 3 children, were killed in Israeli artillery fire in Zaytoun and Tufah neighborhoods in Gaza. The heavy fighting continues amid several Palestinians being allowed back into Gaza after the Rafah border crossing with Egypt opened this week.
It's all hardship. The whole journey is exhausting. Since we left at 2 a.m. yesterday, we've been standing on our own. We're exhausted. We're completely worn out. I won't abandon you. My mother, who was with me, is my lifelong duty. I live and she dies. I live and she stays behind me.
He's been out since 2 at night, or since yesterday. Since 2 at night, she went out and got to the 9 Egyptians. And in the afternoon, she went to the Europeans and the Palestinians. Of course, these are a disaster. I mean, many of them. We didn't see anything good from them at all, and then they brought us out and we marched on the Jews.
We've suffered on our journey. It's been 3 days for me. I spent 2 days at the border, even spending a night there. They finally let me out today at noon. And from noon until now, it's 11, we faced some obstacles.
They had picked up one person, and that individual has now caused us a delay.
According to an Associated Press report, before the war, Rafah was the main crossing for people moving in and out of Gaza. The territory has 4 other border crossings with Israel. Israel called its 2024 seizure of the Rafah crossing part of efforts to combat Hamas arms smuggling. The crossing briefly opened for the evacuation of medical patients during a ceasefire in early 2025.
For 50 years, this committee has stood firm in defending a simple truth: the inalienable rights of the Palestinian people, including the right to self-determination, must be realized and respected, fully, consistently, and without delay. We enter 2026 with the clock ticking louder than ever. Will the year ahead bend towards peace or slip into the abyss of despair? In Gaza, Palestinians continue to endure grave suffering. Since the October agreement, more than 500 Palestinians have been killed. I urge all parties to implement the agreement in full, exercise maximum restraint, and comply with international law and UN resolutions. I also call for the facilitation of rapid and unimpeded passage of humanitarian relief at scale, including through the Rafah crossing. Any sustainable solution in Gaza must be consistent with international law and result in Gaza and the West Bank, including East Jerusalem, being governed by a unified, legitimate, and internationally recognized Palestinian government. Gaza is and must remain an integral part of a Palestinian state. In the occupied West Bank, relentless illegal settlements, expansion, demolitions, displacements, and evictions are accelerating. More than 37,000 Palestinians were displaced in the West Bank in 2025 alone, a year that also saw record high levels of Israeli settler violence. The recently published tender by Israel for 3,401 housing units in the E1 area, alongside continued demolitions, is profoundly alarming. If carried forward, it would sever the northern and southern West Bank, undermine territorial contiguity, and strike a severe blow to the viability of a two-state solution. I urge Member States to significantly step up on every front, including through the 2026 flash appeal for the occupied Palestinian territory. And I reaffirm my full support for UNRWA and condemn the adoption by the Israeli parliament of laws that further impede the agency's ability to operate and carry out its mandate activities.
United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres reaffirmed the rights of Palestinians in Gaza and the West Bank. Israel's offensive has killed 71,779 Palestinians, including 523 since this ceasefire started, according to Gaza's health ministry. The ceasefire's first phase called for the exchange of all hostages held in Gaza for hundreds of Palestinians held by Israel, a surge in humanitarian aid, and a partial pullback of Israeli troops, AP reported.